Good morning. We're going to be continuing Galatians today. And I really believe that the answer for why do we need Christ comes to the surface more clearly in Galatians chapter 3 verse 10 than probably any other verse in the Bible. I know people, and you probably know people, that really believe that it's going to be through their works and efforts, through their good deeds, that God's going to allow them into heaven. But the reality is that is simply not true. Let me read this verse to you. This is Galatians 3:10. It says, "All who rely on the works of the law are under a curse. For it is written, Cursed be everyone who does not abide by all things written in the book of the law and do them." Now what he is saying is those who think that their good efforts are going to appease the righteous standard of God, he says in this verse, they are under a curse. Well, what's the curse? Well, listen to this verse. This is the curse. "Cursed be everyone who does not abide by all the things written in the book of the law and do them." The problem for the person who is seeking to appease God through their own efforts is that if they make one mistake, they're out. He said, "Cursed be the one who does not abide by all things written in the book of the law." If you're going to take it upon yourself to keep the law, then you can't mess up at one point. I'll show you where Jesus spoke to this. In Matthew chapter 5, Jesus spoke to this. Let's just look at anger here. He said, "You've heard it said that you shall not murder, and whoever murders will be liable to judgment. But I say to you, everyone who is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment." What he's saying to you is this. You know, you may be able to avoid the actual act of murder, but if you call another person a fool, you've already committed murder in your heart. What Jesus was trying to show us was that the law is not simply something that applies to things that we have done, but the law even applies to things that we have thought. Now you may look at that and say, "No, wait a minute, that is impossible." Well, that's the point. It is absolutely impossible for you and I to keep the law. As a matter of fact, that's why we need the gospel so desperately. The scriptures say in 1 Peter that Christ did not even utter deceitful things. He did not even think deceitful things or sinful things. Christ has fulfilled the law, but you can't. It goes on in this passage and it says, "Cursed is everyone who is hung on a tree." I want you to understand this today, that the law is too great. The standard of the law is way too high for you to fulfill, but God in His grace and mercy has sent Christ to fulfill it for you. Your salvation cannot be found through your own law keeping. Salvation is found through trusting in the law keeper. I hope you've done that, and I hope you're doing that today, that you're saying, "God, just as you have fulfilled the law on my behalf, would you do exceedingly and abundantly beyond all I could ask or think today?" I hope that's your prayer today.